At the mechanic for an oil change, he crawled under my car and said, "Someone's been tracking your location with military-grade equipment." I laughed because I thought he was joking. "My 2015 Honda Civic isn't exactly James Bond material. I'm serious," Dave said, sliding out from under my car. He had grease on his hands and something else, genuine concern on his face. "This isn't some cheap Jeeps tracker from Amazon. This is professional-grade hardware, military spec." My stomach dropped. "What are you talking about?" He walked me around to the undercarriage and pointed his flashlight at a small black box magnetically attached near the rear axle. It looked like it belonged there, perfectly integrated with the car's existing components. "See how it's positioned? Whoever installed this knew exactly what they were doing. It's got its own power supply, weatherproofing, the works. This thing could track you across the country for months without needing maintenance." I stared at it, my mind racing. Could it be from the dealership? Like for repossession or something? Dave shook his head. "I've been doing this for 20 years. Dealership trackers are obvious and cheap. This is different. This is what government agencies use." "Government agencies?" "Dave, I'm an accountant. I do taxes for small businesses. Why would anyone track me?" "I don't know, man, but we need to call the police." That's when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Hello?" Silence. Then a voice, calm and measured. "Mr. Berkowitz, we noticed your vehicle is currently at Riverside Auto Repair." My blood went cold. "Who is this?" "Your mechanic found our tracking device. We'd prefer if you left it alone and drove home. We'll compensate you for the inconvenience." I looked at Dave, who was watching me with growing alarm. "How did you know I'm at the mechanic?" I asked, though I already knew the answer. "We know where you are at all times, Trent. We've been monitoring you for 3 months. You're not in danger, but removing that device would complicate things significantly." "Complicate things for who? What do you want from me?" "It's not about you. It's about your client, Apex Sovereign Partners. We know you handle their books." Apex Sovereign Partners. They were my biggest client, a venture capital firm that had hired me 6 months ago. The pay was incredible, but the owner, Graham Whitfield, always seemed a bit off, evasive about certain transactions, insistent on specific accounting methods. "What about them? They're laundering money for a foreign entity. We've been building a case, but we need evidence. Your access to their financial records makes you valuable." I laughed bitterly. "So you've been tracking me instead of just asking?" "We couldn't risk tipping you off. If you'd gone to Whitfield and mentioned our interest, he would have destroyed everything and disappeared. We needed to observe your patterns, make sure you weren't involved." Dave was mouthing words at me, but I couldn't focus on him. "And am I? Involved?" "No, you're clean. But Whitfield is getting suspicious. He's been asking questions about you, running background checks, monitoring your communications. We think he's planning to eliminate loose ends." My hands started shaking. "Eliminate? You mean kill me?" "We have reason to believe he's arranging something. That's why we accelerated our timeline. We need you to copy Apex's files tonight and bring them to us. In exchange, we'll protect you and your family." "How do I know you're really federal agents? This could be anyone. Check your email. We just sent you classified photos of Whitfield meeting with known arms dealers. Photos we took last week in Budapest." I pulled up my email. There they were. Clear, high-resolution images of Graham Whitfield shaking hands with men I recognized from news reports about international weapons trafficking. My legs felt weak. "What if I say no? Then we can't protect you from what's coming, and Whitfield walks free with $200 million in blood money." Dave grabbed my shoulder. "Derek, what's happening?" I covered the phone. "They're FBI or CIA or something. They want me to help them build a case against Meridian Holdings, the investment firm." "What did they do?" Before I could answer, the caller spoke again. "You have 6 hours to decide. We'll be in touch." The line went dead. I stood there in the auto shop, staring at my oil-stained Civic, trying to process that my boring accounting job had somehow put me in the middle of an international money laundering operation. Dave cleared his throat. "So, what are you going to do?" I thought about Graham Whitfield's cold eyes during our last meeting, the way he'd asked about my family, where my kids went to school, whether my wife worked late, questions that seemed friendly at the time but now felt like threats. "I'm gonna need you to remove that tracker," I said slowly. "But first, I need you to show me exactly how it works." Dave raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "Because if they've been tracking me, they've been tracking my routines. And if Whitfield is planning something, he knows them too. Which means I need to break every pattern I've established for the last 3 months." I pulled out my phone and started making calls. First to my wife, telling her to take the kids to her mother's immediately. Then to my lawyer. Then to the local FBI field office. Because I wasn't about to trust a voice on the phone with my life. Dave removed the tracker and handed it to me. It was heavier than it looked. "You really think your client wants to kill you?" I thought about the $200 million. About the photos of weapons dealers. About how expendable one accountant was in the grand scheme of things. "Yeah," I said. "I really do."